Russians never surrender. Russia can't lose.
But I do know that naive notions that the Russians are going to lose somehow. We can't win against Vladimir Putin anyways.
Yeah, of course, good boy. But in the real non-illusory world, Russians surrender as easily as a newbie StarCraft player on a Korean server. Russians surrender even in their own patriotic propagandistic talk shows. This situation threatens us with the most severe consequences if we lose. And we have to assume we can lose. I do not agree with those who say we will win. I don't know. I don't know. You have to be ready to lose. Oh, poor guy. He's almost like crying there. Such a take by Russian propagandists on Russian Central State TV seems to be mind-blowing, considering all the statements that the Russians made last year. If you have already forgotten, Russians were like 100% sure that Ukraine didn't have a chance against their mighty army and that war will last shorter than the first sex of an incel. In a hot war, we will defeat Ukraine in 2 days. Nothing to beat there. It's Ukraine, for God's sake. Putin's groupie, president of Belarus, Lukashenko, publicly announced the superpowers of his Russian allies. Ukraine will never fight with us, because this war will last, well, a maximum of 3-4 days. And now? Everyone in his place should do what he is best able to do, what he should do according to his direct official assignment. And then we will definitely win. No, we won't. Right. Winning, losing, who the fuck cares? We just started the biggest war since World War II and now try to commit genocide, but yeah, we could lose. These are the words of one of the main voices of Russian propaganda, Vladimir Solovyov, and he allows himself to disagree with a governmental official, questioning his confidence in Russia's victory. While a year ago, Russia spoke so confidently about their crushing victory over Ukraine that even the Western world fell for their lie and buried Ukraine alive. Just watch these headlines. General Milley says Kyiv could fall within 72 hours if Russia decides to invade Ukraine. US concerned Kyiv could fall to Russia within days, sources familiar with intel say. And now, Russian propagandists are discussing Russian capitulation. What a twist! We need very creative diplomacy and creative use, including military force where it is needed, in order to pass between Scylla and Charybdis. The Scylla is capitulation and Charybdis is, well, sure, either we give up immediately or give up forcefully after some time. Russian state media a year ago was so confident in their victory, they began to dream not only of capturing all of Ukraine, including Lviv, which almost borders Poland. Tell us whether we'll reach Ukrainian Lviv and when it will happen. One way or another, we have to reach Lviv. Sure, Russians also were confident in occupying parts of Europe, such as Warsaw, capital of Poland. We will attack from the side of Belarus and Kaliningrad. So what, we will be in Warsaw in a week. And today, I personally had already understood that I, Anton from Moscow, need to be prepared in order to protect my house right near Kolomna. Now, Russian propagandists are discussing how to defend their capital, Moscow, and its suburbia, Kolomna. Maybe you guys just should burn it yourself, like before, that genius war move, like strategy stuff. No one expected such a big war. We were not ready for the war we started. Oh, you were not ready. Oh, I'm so sorry. Russian propaganda's anxiety turned into a panic after a series of successful counteroffensive operations by the Ukrainian army, which helped to liberate the significant part of the Kherson and Kharkiv regions. The key factor of those operations was Western weaponry, which proved to be highly effective in the hands of the Ukrainians. Surprise, surprise. The Russians simply were not prepared for this. The only unexpected thing Russians are always ready for is getting blind after a glass of shitty methanol vodka. Yes, we left Kherson. Well, because this is what happened. Our offensive slowed down. Probably we planned that we would take Kyiv in 3 days, but it did not work out. Since autumn, such whining has been heard more and more often on Russian TV. In fact, whining has been heard from every window like it is a new Russian pop hit by Little Big. Russia received numerous powerful bitch slaps in Ukraine, and you know what? Instead of the usual threats to the whole world with a nuclear apocalypse, propaganda started to prepare Russians for the idea that losing to Ukraine is normal. And there is nothing wrong with Russia leaving the occupied territories that they already consider their own, they annexed them. Well, let's suppose you return the occupied territories back to Ukraine. Then what? This is not a defeat for Russia, as they see it for themselves. Even the most difficult failures in Ukraine do not mean the end of this story. So, when would this story end in Russia? The answer is never. Russia will lose, the main characters would die of age, and at the same time the story will continue. Because why not? If we act at the same pace with the same logic, then, our lives will not be enough to see any success. Let's be honest with ourselves, and the life of our leadership will not be enough. So, Russia will lose, but still will continue to fight, defending Moscow, I guess. Moscow that nobody was attacking in the first place. And that would be Russia's first visible victory. Moscow would remain Russian. The only question is, from whom would they defend Moscow? From starving Russians? From stray dogs? From mutated Putin doubles? From suburban citizens? No one will give us the opportunity to retreat. We will be torn and destroyed to the end. Yeah, baby. The total war that the West has declared on us will come to every family in one form or another. So, as you can see, there is tremendous progress from we will capture Ukraine in 3 days and on the 4th will be in Lisbon to, oh my god, we are capitulating, we will defend Moscow, the war will come to every home of every ordinary Russian. Heartbreaking backflip. With the transfer of each batch of Western weapons, the armed forces of Ukraine acquire new offensive capabilities and also new operational and combat capabilities, so the time now plays in their favor. We need to end this conflict. So stay tuned, you will hear new episodes of Russians whining about how they always plan to lose to Ukraine on the battlefield. You didn't know, but that was an extraordinary gambit in 3D chess from Putin, because he is an incredible strategist who calculated that if he starts a war against Ukraine and loses it, it will be possible to eat for free in prison in The Hague. Cosmic brain. Also, like our video, write a comment and tell your friends about our YouTube channel. More to follow. Thanks.